on the success of the previous 2 editions. More than 50 senior executives took part in the Deloitte Swiss watch industry study. With me in the studio right now to discuss the findings is Karine Szegedi. Karine, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me here.
Now, let's have a look at this study. The findings: exports of Swiss wristwatches really hit their peak in 2013, a record value of 20.6 billion Swiss francs, I believe. Now, it kind of begs the question of recession. What recession? The aftermath of. What, to your mind, has really set this industry apart from other sectors which have perhaps struggled in recent years?
Yeah, 20.6 billion Swiss francs of export in Swiss wristwatches is quite impressive and has been up the recent years. It has been up in value, but it has not been up in volume. So in volume we had seen a decrease of a bit more than 3% in the current year. One of the explanations of this is that it's the mechanical watches, there's an upside in volume, but quartz watches have a decrease in volume. More than about 3 million in total pieces for the last 2 years. Why? We have as well new players in the market, such as, for example, the ice watch. The ice watch has sold over 3 million pieces in 2013. So mechanical watches are more part of the luxury business, and the luxury business is still doing well, the luxury industry. We have done a study recently that showed, that studied the top luxury houses, and out of the top 10 luxury houses, 3 were Swiss, and the 3 Swiss were in the watch industry. So the watch industry, what is it? It's tradition, it's know-how, it's quality. So it's a quintessential Swiss product, which is still valued by a lot of customers around the world. And we have seen that even if some demand is lower in certain regions, there is still a strong demand in others.
I mean, when you think about it, something else you sort of mentioned as well, that a watch is no really just a time-telling device. In Switzerland, it could be seen as a statement, as luxury. Globally, nowadays it could actually be seen as a personal computer linked up to your home systems, doing this, that, and everything really. Did the participants really see smartwatches as a bit of a game changer and also tech companies as real competitors?
Well, smartwatches were seen as a quite immature market until 2014 because technically the watch was not yet there, the aesthetics was not great, it was a bit of duplication with your smartphone, the screen size was very small, autonomy was low, so various factors that made it not so attractive. Mm-hmm. Since then, some of the problems have been resolved. We have nice increases and enhancements in software and hardware. On aesthetics, for example, we have the Apple Watch Edition, which even has a gold case. We have as well the Apple Watch now in 2 case sizes, 38 and 42 millimeters, which means that the females can enter the market as well. But when we asked the watch participants, the executives, about what they thought about a smartwatch, most of them are quite indifferent to the smartwatch market, and only 11% saw it as a real threat. On the other hand, we had a question of what is the next big thing in the watch industry. Some mentioned online sales, but 44% said the smartwatch. So our analysis is that is for the watch segment below 500 Swiss francs. There it is a threat because it's a direct competition, but probably on the mechanical watches we have less impact of these smartwatches.
Okay, so it might be a sort of niche customer which is kind of looking for that a little bit. So talking about all these different threats and the different participants or trends which could be facing the watch industry. How are watchmakers hoping to kind of negotiate these different tailwinds or head risks, as it was?
Yeah, so it's we cannot say what the future will bring to us, but of course some watchmakers have already announced some partnerships, some research. The Swiss watch industry will come out with something, and maybe what I want to mention as well is that our survey has been done before the recent announcement of the new smartwatches, which was Samsung, LG, Sony as well, and the Apple Watch. So the study results are potentially not the same than if it has been done now. But again, there's opportunities and there's threats. One of the opportunities is that young people who did not wear watches, were using their phone as a watch, will now start to wear something around the wrist and then can potentially enter the traditional watch market. And I think we cannot really compare it to the 70s when the quartz watches came up and it was two technologies for one same product. Here we have two complementary products for the same wrist. So future will tell us what happens, but I think it will be an interesting discussion, and 2015 could be pivotal for the smartwatch industry.
Great, well certainly something to look forward to, something to keep an eye out for. But Karine, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your insights with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Me too, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, well that's all from Karine and myself for the moment, but make sure you keep clicking back to Dukascopy TV for many more exclusive interviews. Goodbye for now.